Hiya! Welcome to the second episode of Kira Discusses. My name is Shayla Simons, and joining me are my co-hosts, Miki, Darian, and Deanna. Today, we'll be talking about some video game news, and in the later half of our episode, be discussing the racial tension right now in America due to police brutality. So please stick around and enjoy our show. Hey y'all, welcome to our second episode of Kira Discusses. I hope y'all out there, whoever's listening, is being safe, being healthy. We really appreciate y'all coming and listening to our awesome little podcast we have today. I'm going to introduce my co-hosts today. Who are you guys?
Hello, my name is Deanna.
Hello, my name is Darian.
And my name is Miki.
All right, so today we're going to do a little bit of podcast pop culture news for y'all today, and then we're going to get into our topic of discussion. Just some news that I have found this past week. I know the big one that we're all really excited for is Kingdom Hearts TV series is being developed at Disney Plus. Well, not at Disney Plus, but for Disney Plus. So I know we got some Kingdom Hearts fans in the group. So what did y'all hear about that?
Yes, I'm scared.
So what are y'all?
Scared.
So basically, I heard that they're basically going to run. At first, they were going to develop one in 2002 or 1, and then they were like, "Well, they don't feel comfortable doing it because there's not a lot of lore attached to it." And now we got 20 years under our belt, so it's like, well, now we have plenty of lore, so it could be a bit more streamlined for the consumer who wants to get into Kingdom Hearts but really didn't get into Kingdom Hearts because there's a lot of like stories and a lot of different like consoles and stuff that was on, aka me. That's why I didn't get into Kingdom Hearts so much yet. But yeah, how are we feeling about that?
I am personally terrified. Worried.
Why do you say that?
Because I've watched a lot of stuff get transferred from video game platforms, comic books, or even anime into a sort of TV, specifically for like American TV, and it always seems to be that one thing they can't seem to get right, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha.
Kind of like what happened with Death Note.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like I don't blame the people who made it. I don't blame them too much. I blame the fact that it's just like it's a different form of storytelling that we just can't seem to get a handle on. And with how convoluted Kingdom Hearts is, plot-wise, lore-wise, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's where my concern comes from.
Do you think that's gonna part of the problem is because it has all of these spin-offs and spin-off games that it's gonna be a little bit difficult to kind of like make a streamlined version for a TV show? Or
I think the difficult part was just trying to pin down where are you going to start.
Okay. Because the story is so branching and coming from different areas. Like you can't just go with 1, 2, or 3, I'm guessing. It's a matter of you have to other games to consider, and I have no idea where they're placed on the timeline. Y'all have a better hand on it than I do, so.
Well, I can say this. One of my main concerns, to be honest, is going to be not just how it would be made plot-wise, because either they start from the absolute very beginning when it is from, I guess, Radiant Gardens, or they could start with just Sora being on the island, or they could do a Ghost in the Shell and put all of the plot lines all together, which is first what I'm afraid of.
Right.
The second thing is going to be what they're going to use to actually create series, as far as surprised that Disney characters are they're 3D modeled. They are made very differently than characters that are made in Kingdom Hearts I believe that Square Enix uses their in-house Luminous Studio engine. But I also remember hearing that for Kingdom Hearts 3, some of the initial development tests were made using Unreal Engine 3 or 4.
Now, that's what I heard too, and I heard that the series is going to be using Unreal Engine.
What a kooky time to live in.
That's a surprise to me.
What'd you say, Deanna?
I said, what a kooky time to live in, where like a gaming engine is used to render like 3D modeled animations and shows.
Well, it's not too far. It's not too far fetched. Like, I mean, Source filmmaker from Valve, people use it to make films all the time. Granted, it's for Team Fortress fan films, but it's a source nonetheless that's being used to create stories and films and stuff like that. So it's not too far fetched. I think it's just a matter of like maybe they're solely using it for cinematic purpose rather than like gameplay or something. So I don't know how they would do that. I never touched Unreal before, but I mean, it could be a new way of like creating CGI films other than using Maya and or Blender or something like that.
Yeah, that's something else that I found interesting, that they were going to be using this form of game engine, because like I think that a lot of shows will use Maya as like what they use to either make the characters or animate them. Doesn't South Park, if I'm not mistaken, use Maya to make their episodes?
Yes, they do. Now that's always been fascinating. I would love to get a peek at their system, because it's 2D. But then you find out that it's being produced in Maya, and it's like, well, yeah, you can make 2D figures in Maya, but it's like how? It's just like I really want to know like how their process works for it. I think it may be online, but it's like I really want to get a deep dive, into that. But they're so secretive over there and everything.
You could always just watch the documentary that they have. I think it's on like YouTube.
I think I watched a documentary, but it's more about the actual like pipeline of their animation, how they create an episode in basically a week, and the only time that they haven't staged that schedule is when there was like a huge power outage in Los Angeles, and another time I forgot. It's like literally like 2 times where they did not meet their week quota. So it's literally it's like a fast moving system of like we need to make relevant episodes in a week at the South Park studio.
Actually, not surprised that Square Enix did switch over to using another gaming engine, and I wouldn't be surprised if Disney does the same to render this, because according to Polygon.com, there was an article that was made in 2014, and the caption for the article is literally Kingdom Hearts 3 switched to Unreal Engine 4 to rendering difficulties. How beautiful this game looks. Yes, we have all seen the pretty lighting. We've all seen particle systems.
Yeah, I cried.
Especially in Arendelle.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen the full game, but go ahead, Darian.
Oh, no. I'm just saying that as far as graphics wise or anything they're going to do with the TV show, I am not concerned at all concerning what I have already seen. Like, I don't know too much about like 2D or 3D animation, like the complete know-how, what goes into it, but I know that they did a lot of work on that, and what I've seen so far is just straight up gorgeous.
Right.
So as far as that process is concerned, I'm not too worried. My main concern is just as far as who you're going to start with, because there are a ton of characters in this one video game series that have their own piece of lore, and what with the new installment coming in on the Android, that's a whole nother piece of lore that's going to be possibly missing from this.
Right. What if the new series also brings in even more lore? It's like I feel like Nomura knows what he's doing. He's putting a puzzle together, but at the same time, we're all just sitting here scrambling, trying to find that one last piece, and you're just sitting there crying, going, "Where is it? I don't understand."
Like he's just making his own pieces as he goes.
Well, I think too. I think it's important to remember that whatever happens with this TV series, it is an adaptation. There may be bits and pieces that are taken out. It probably won't. I'm sure Kingdom Hearts fans would love for this to be a perfect conversion from the video game to the TV series, but I I can understand that it may not be any guarantees because there are so many iterations. It may be a bit difficult. Probably making sure that they have all of all the important stuff in there is probably my best guess of how it's going to go down. I mean, I would be shocked if they're able to put everything into, I don't know how long the first season will be, but I think it'll be commendable if they try and do that.
I honestly think that I would not mind at all if they changed around the story. If they changed around to a point, it's just good. Like if they make it their own, while sticking true to what the backbone of the games are, then I'm fine with it. It doesn't have to stay true to it because I already played the games. I know the story, so I don't want to see a rehashing of it. I want to see what they do with this new platform they're going with.
Right. But yeah. Next bit of news is recently this week, Naughty Dog, the creators of Uncharted and The Last of Us, released extended gameplay as well as story details for The Last of Us Part 2. And when I was watching it, one of the biggest things that I noticed from the gameplay and the story details is how grittier and how much more violent this game seems to be compared to the first game. I mean, not to get anything wrong. The first game had its intensities and its violence, but this one seems to be taken it to another level of like violence intensity and stuff like that. Like you can like literally you'll watch Ellie like finishing move as you can like slash someone's neck, hear them like gurgle and die. She's basically put like setting dogs and people on fire. It's like, and you hear the dogs whining. It's like, oh my gosh! Like one of my notes was like, they're killing dogs. Shit! Like, oh my, it's like it's crazy. And like I already know that Sony leaked or somebody leaked some of the story details, and I have been thankful that I have not gotten a hold of, not found these story details, because I honestly want to be surprised of what happens in the story, like for real. But it seems like inside the story, Ellie, something happens to Ellie in the town that she's living in, and she's going on basically this revenge plot to like take down whoever like did the traumatic thing in the town. And there's like two factions. It's like this military group that took over Seattle, and then this more religious group that is defined by the scars, like a literal one scar on their cheek. And so it's looking to be a very like exciting follow-up to The Last of Us. What do you guys think?
That is
okay.
So look, I'm trying to handle this delicately just because it Last of Us is something. Go ahead, Darian.
Why go to me? Like, I have a love-hate relationship with this game only because I just can't stand zombies. They scare the crap out of me. So that's why I'm just like, I love them, but they terrify me. And half the time when I was watching playthroughs of these games, I have my eyes closed. They're kind of like zombies, but like I think they've tried to define themselves that's not zombies or like these. Yeah. They're like creatures
that creatures that take control of humans and are now like spores growing on them and taking over their minds. Fungus, yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. Fungus.
It's interesting to me just because like I think of the zombie out of The Last of Us, I get very like of Walking Dead with Resident Evil. Not necessarily the video games, but more the movies, just because I have a bit of a bigger relationship with the movies and the video games. I'll say that the whole thing where it experiences something traumatic and she essentially goes on this like revenge, anger fueled. I don't know if you could even call it a rebellion. It's just like she's just there to fuck shit up. That's exactly what it goes down to. And I've seen like very human reaction. And that's why it's so interesting to me, because even when like, what's a good comparison for it? Slight spoiler warning. So if anybody listening to this doesn't want to be spoiled on The Walking Dead, especially the later seasons, speed up about 40 seconds.
40 seconds. 40 seconds.
So one of the best of revenge that I've seen in The Walking Dead was literally when Carol went off the wall. Took out, I'm pretty sure it was during the season where everybody got caught up in faction of people that were literally cannibals.
Oh, well, okay. I want to full disclosure. Haven't watched Walking Dead, but I'm willing to be spoiled.
Like one of the characters from Rick Grimes's group gets his leg cut off and eaten in front of him.
Oh my gosh!
So he starts laughing because he's been bitten, and he's like, "You're all dead. You're all dead." But Carol, she in the very beginning of Walking Dead, she was the battered housewife character. It was kind of like one thing where it was like knew that she had been abused, but at the same time, she was so willing to not let other people show it. And she is such an interesting character because she was able to take in every single bad thing that's happened, and she was able to turn that anger, that aggression, and just it's like a literal walking definition of what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. But with me, I'm gonna fuck with you.
Right. Wow.
She took out the entire camp, like literally by herself. You just see her rolling around. She ends up taking some of the, I think at one point she took some of the zombie blood and coated herself with it and blended it in. I don't know if that was exactly her character, but I remember something similar happening to that. And that was how she was able to sneak past all of the walkers, got close to the camp, and blew it up.
Damn, that's badass.
And that's how she was able to help others escape. So it was just kind of like she took revenge, and it happened so easily, like through it's amazing. And that's what makes me think of Ellie, but she's just like shorter and younger.
So you think it'll be like a more of that situation?
It'll be more of that situation, but because of the fact that Ellie is much younger, like they're going to have
she's going to be 19.
They're going to have that aspect of teen angst. And not gonna lie, this girl is going to, before she was just seen as, I believe that she was honestly just seen as tough because you see her evolution of a scared little girl in this zombie filled world. Yeah. That saying, hell hath no fury than a woman scorned.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
That is Ellie.
Yeah, because they say she's canonically 19 in this movie. There's still no news if Joel will be an active participant in this in the sequel, but he is in there. Not sure how he's tied to the film. We will not film. God, video game. We will see. I mean,
coming 2025.
Oh my gosh, we're like Naughty Dog be making like basically playable movies at this point. Like they're just like a step above Quantum Dream, where it's not a straight up we're playing like a movie. There's a bit more action and stuff to it, but it's just got that cinematic feel of you're playing a game, but you're also playing a very compelling narrative that could be translated into movie if they wanted to, but not really. So other like Quantum Dream is like, yeah, you're practically just playing a like interactive movie at this point, and I'm not mad at it. I love Quantum Dream. It's just like there's definitely you can make some comparison video of like how Naughty Dog doesn't like ride on narrative. It kind of like pushes it in there to make it an actual video game and not a playable interactive movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. Excited about The Last of Us Part 2. And my last bit of news, actually surprisingly, well, no. Kingdom Hearts was kind of like a TV video game news, but I feel like all my news today is video games. IGN as well as I forgot his name, Jeff Kingsley. I'm blanking on his name, but they just released the Summer of Gaming schedule, and IGN is doing an IGN Online Expo that is going to be a replacement for E3 and a bunch of other gaming conventions that got canceled due to COVID-19, and it looks really great. Like we'll put the link of the schedule in our description, but the schedule looks fantastic. They have basically an online showcase from Xbox, Ubisoft, indie games, and a bunch of other great companies. The indie show, and you can add it on your calendar too. All the showcases that are coming up for the next 3 months. And that's the best part about it. I like how it's not like they're just not trying to make like a straight up replacement for E3, which is just like 3 days of a gaming conference. They're actually doing the whole summer season. So they're starting. They started this month, and it's going to go through August.
I'm excited.
I'm so hyped.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
But the thing is, though, the only people that's not there is PlayStation, because PlayStation has been doing its own thing. And like if you remember, like the big news of earlier this year was that PlayStation is not being a part of E3. But then COVID happened, and it's like, well, what's the point anymore? So they're just doing their own state of plays, and it looks like they're just doing like. At first, it was Ghost of Tsushima gameplay and story details. Now it's Last of Us Part 2 gameplay and story details. So it's just like, I think they're just isolating their state of play to just talk about the games that are being released in the coming future.
Very interesting.
Right. So yeah, what do y'all think?
Is it going to be like free, or do you have to like pay to like go to like this convention?
Big question. Do I have to spend money? No, I don't think you have to spend money. I think it's going to be on YouTube or something. Most of their showcases.
I feel like that's going to be a recurring thing.
I think it's already been a recurring thing. Like with online conferences, conventions and stuff like that. It's already becoming like a fast normal right now in this pandemic.
It sounds like it'd be no different from me watching E3 from like Twitch.
Exactly. I think that's the best part. We're all in the same boat now. Like, we all are at home. No one gets to get early access or be part of the convention or anything, or get early looks or anything. We're all looking at the same screen, and I like that kind of like. There's no one-upping people when they're like, oh, I got this hot exclusive for this game. It's like we're all in the same boat because we're all stuck at home.
We all suffer together, man.
Yes, suffer together, play together, laugh together. I don't know.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's all the news I have. Anybody got any news they want to talk about?
Well, speaking of PlayStation, they're going to be doing their own little unveiling, quote unquote, the PS5 on June the 4th at 1 p.m.
That's right. They are doing that. Oh my gosh. That's going to be fun.
To watch the future of gaming. And that's 1 p.m. Pacific time.
So it's
PTD.
What is that? Anybody want to convert that?
help me convert this because my math's.
It's not PST, so it wouldn't be hang on. Our time is EST, so ST is 3 hours back.
Oh yeah, it is Pacific time.
But what will it be? Eastern Standard Time.
I'm trying to figure that out. I forgot to do my bank conversions.
I think it's 8 a.m.
Yeah, usually. If it's like a 4-hour difference, then it's 8 a.m.
Dang, Eastern Standard Time has to get up at 8 a.m. just so we can see what the PS5 looks like.
Wait.
Hey, we're willing to do that.
Oh my god.
So at what time PST is it going to be like showing?
Hang on, I am showing. Pacific time, it's going to be at 1 p.m. on the dot. And for, what was it? Where are we at? Eastern Standard?
Yeah, we're Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard would be. What is it? I think I swear to God, I think it's 9. Nope, 4 p.m. Saturday.
Oh God, I went back too far. Never mind. I retract all that. 4 p.m. Perfect. I could do that.
I was there for a hot second, guys.
I was like, no, we fucked up.
Yeah, PTD.
I will still get up at 8 a.m. just to see what the PlayStation 5 will look like. Am I going to buy it first wave, though? No.
Dude, no.
Buy it second wave?
Maybe if I have some money.
First wave.
I mean, unless you're a reviewer and you're like, you have a reason to buy it first wave, or you like PlayStation sends you the PS5. But I don't think that I don't think people do that anymore. It depends on the company.
And it really depends.
Or a Black Friday. Get it on Black Friday.
What, Darian?
Swear to God. So try and get it Black Friday or something.
Oh, that's true.
It's like,
that's how I got mine.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, we don't have a lot of information, unfortunately. Like, all we got is like snippets of what the controller looks like, possibly what the console could look like, and some general stats like for like how fast it goes for the CPU. They might be revealing some games that'll be going on there.
Oh yeah, I will be there. I want to be there for that because they have been like people have been trying to like figure out who's going to be on the next gen game day one. Like I'm hoping okay, let's go ahead and do predictions. I think that they're going to announce a new Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. That's my prediction. Laying it here first, folks. I think they're going to release a sequel because there have been talks about them doing something with Horizon Zero Dawn or something in the studio that made it. Don't know if they're going to, but that's my prediction. What's y'all's predictions?
I'm sorry. I believe Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider shows up somewhere.
Tomb Raider. Okay. Anybody else?
I know too little about games, sadly.
Okay, Darian, come on. Give us your predictions. Pia, the PlayStation Wizard, give us your predictions. Lay them right here.
PlayStation Wizard.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I got 2, but one of them probably won't come until like 10 years later, so I'm just gonna knock that off right now. I'm guessing might be a wild stab in the dark, but Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed?
They already
yeah.
They already announced the Assassin's Creed game. It's a Viking. it's the Viking game. They making Vikings, and they already said it's gonna be on next gen.
I am so upset. I forgot about that.
Okay, second prediction, Darian, go.
I'm trying. I had a thought in my head and I lost it. What was it? Wow, I actually forgot what I was gonna guess. It was my second choice. Let me see
if I can read Darian's mind. Does it have anything to do with BioShock?
Oh.
It might have been.
Because they were saying that they're going to make a new BioShock game was in the works, but...
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, maybe they would include BioShock. If not BioShock, then another Resident Evil.
Resident Evil or Silent Hill?
Oh, yes, yeah. Silent Hills. Oh, Silent Hills. Made by Kojima. If that happens, oh my gosh, you heard it here first, folks.
I'm gonna be hiding underneath my bed. I'm sorry. I am scared of Silent Hill.
No, but when like Silent Hill PT came out, I legit was like, "This looks so good. I would poop my pants playing a full game, like because I don't like horror that much. But I'm like, this looks so good. I would poop my pants. I will do it willingly."
I think my biggest guess would probably be a Resident Evil game. If not that, then BioShock. Because as far as they've been remaking a lot of Resident Evil, but I would say they would need to be careful because they try to remake 4. That game is pretty much was proclaimed a masterpiece. So trying to remake that.
Well, they are remaking it.
Okay. Well, they are remaking it, but I'm trying to see what they'll do with it.
Right. I mean, the people were like, "Oh, Resident Evil 4 is next," and I'm like, "But yeah, it's a proclaimed masterpiece." Announces that Resident Evil 4 is coming. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, like, how are y'all gonna make the game that's proclaimed a masterpiece and one of the best video games of all time into something new? That I want to see what you're gonna do with it and try not to. Okay, I gotta censor myself. Try not to mess it up.
You know you can curse here. We've been cursing this whole time.
All right, in the name of RuPaul, don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. You heard it here first, folks. Don't fuck it up.
Fuck it up.
All right.
I actually like Resident Evil.
Oh, I have 2 other predictions, and y'all can correct me if you think, but I feel like there will also be, if nothing else, a new next gen version for Grand Theft Auto. And Saints Row.
Yeah, I've heard that Grand Theft Auto is coming out with a possible new game in the series. So that would be a hands down first. Like, I feel like people would definitely buy the PS5 day one if Grand Theft Auto 6 was on there. That would be brilliant. That would be like the best business decision they could probably do. But I can understand why not, because like I took forever for us to get GTA 5. People still play that game, and it's been like I forgot when it came out. So I mean, it's whatever. But like that would be That would be brilliant. Like I remember when the PS4 was.
Move.
I remember the PS4 came out, and when people found out, I think everyone was super excited. And then, like when they said that the PS4 was going to be compared to the Xbox One that was going for like I think $500 at the time, they were going to come out at like $299. Like that blew everybody's mind. They were like, PS4 is the winner, hands down. So I'm like, if they can do that on the level of announcing how the cost of their PS4, I think we have a winner. I think we already have a proclaimed winner for the next generation wars.
If they do it, but if they have reverse compatibility, you know I'm buying that.
Oh yeah, and also reverse compatibility.
I'm sorry, I need that.
Go ahead and also say for the listeners, we are not all completely biased. We believe all game systems are great.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We are a PlayStation family / Nintendo family over here at Pure Discusses. I'm sorry, do not like Xbox.
Yeah, I don't like Xbox either.
You heard it here first.
I'm sorry.
I think the only one that is actually okay with Xbox.
It's fine, but like it's been like behind for a little while. Like their first wrong move was trying to make the Xbox One an entertainment system. Yeah. Everyone was like, "It's not an entertainment system.
That was
it's
a bad move.
It's
say that.
And then they've been trying to pick up the pieces ever since, and they still haven't picked them up. There are still crumbs on the fucking floor. You know what I mean? Like, like no. Like they've been trying to redo that mess for a long time, but
I mean, I hope from the bottom of my heart that they get their stuff together, get their shit together, right? Because this is a PlayStation only family. All heathens out the door.
We like Nintendo here too. And PC is always PC is fine. Like PC is great too. We love Nintendo for now. PlayStation, you'll always love PlayStation in this household. I will go ahead and say it here first. My major regret was trading in my PlayStation 2 for an Xbox 360.
My heart.
That is my biggest regret. Yeah. No. Like I confess that is my confession. I'm like, are you guys mad at me?
Could you?
No, because my family did the same thing too. And then like as soon as we saw like how difficult like it was setting up the Xbox, or I forgot which one it was. Like we moved to like another Xbox like console, and it was just like a giant headache like setting it up. And so we were like, you know what? Let's just switch back to PS like 3 or 4, whatever it was at the time.
But yeah,
it wasn't even 360. I think I had like the original just Xbox, and I was able to play Halo.
Okay.
So my piece of news for the week is from animationworldnetwork.com. Whatever Gets You Talking music video encourages young people to discuss mental health.
Oh.
I started watching this music video. Oh my gosh, this music video is amazingly edited. It's very, very well done. It shows many different kinds of animation techniques that I lost track and had my head spin a little bit. But the person who wrote the article was made by Dan Sarto. The C is the Award campaign releases animated short inspiring young people to check in with friends and support their mental health. And the video features rapper, please let me know that I pronounced that right. Pop icon Meghan Trainor and musical and digital stars Addison Rae, Avery Silas, Bruce Xavier, Henry, the McFarlanes, Molly Toon, and brothers Zach Valentine and Ramirez. Extremely well done. It had everything from looks like stop motion to motion graphics to scribble animation, cell animation. Just really well done. It also looks like there's some 3D animation in the mix as well. And it's basically talking about how one quote that I actually have that I really liked up here when it was talking about, it was saying the video emphasizes that just because we're physically distant doesn't mean teens and young adults should remain socially distant. And I feel like that's really important because in times like this, when you're not able to be around your friends, and me personally, as someone who does experience anxiety, it can be really scary and it can feel like you're all alone. So the fact that this music video was able to come out and just shows whatever you need to be able to get you talking, I think that that's really important, especially for young adults going through a time like this. So what are you guys' thoughts about that?
I think that's really nice, and that's really helping to preach, not preach, but like promote self-care and making sure that you are following up with your friends and your loved ones, even through this time where it feels like we're isolated and closed off from each other.
I think it sounds like a very sweet message. It's like concerning that, I myself do go through like anxiety and things like that. It's a bit comforting.
Right. Oh, can you put it in the chat, Miki? We can look at it later.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat, and I'll also hand in a link for the description for people who want to be able to see this video, because honestly, this was one of the coolest things that I have able to witness, even in just the first 20 seconds. It just flips so fast, and it just makes me think, how did they do it? What do you press on After Effects?
Like, do you press that one button and it does all that? I must know.
The magic button.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I really appreciate that. Like, even talking about mental health and anxiety, they're able to showcase a lot of these animation styles too that discusses the topic as well. So that's really nice, because I think that's important to use visual representations to discuss mental health. I think that's very paramount into how we can have open discussions about it. So
yeah, sometimes words can't get through. Sometimes you just need to actually see a representation of what people are going through in order to really understand.
Yeah,
and us as artists and animators, especially, like if we're able to do something, even just something like this, and it just helps people's day just go a little bit better, and it helps them feel like I really am not alone. It feels really good to do that for others, and to really let people know, no, you're not alone. We are all in this, and we're all in this together. So if you want to check in on somebody, or just want to have like a 5-hour rant session, then you may just need to be able to do that, and that's okay.
I think that's the point of also a reason why I wanted to start a podcast as well, is that maybe this could be our way of talking about things or discussing things together and listening to each other and what we want to talk about and stuff like that.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
Kira Discusses returns after this momentary break. And now back to the show. In the second half of this week's episode, we talk about the recent events depicting the tragic deaths caused by police brutality. If you already are aware of these events or are sensitive to these topics, we suggest you skip this half of this episode. We encourage you to remain aware of the situation at hand. Thank you.
So today, our overall topic, we're going to switch gears a little bit today. I feel like on our show, we're only 2 episodes in at this point, but I feel like I was wrestling with this topic for a while now. With everything going on in the overall world, not that's outside of pop culture and everything, I feel like us being women of color, I feel like it would be if we didn't talk about it, I feel like it would have been irresponsible for us to talk about what's going on in America today regarding all of the racial tension and things going on today. So our huge topic for today is just discussing the big tension that's going on in America. It all really stemmed from at least me. I watched a video from Amanda DB. First off, amazing YouTuber. Please go check out her stuff. And she had a video talking about how basically being tired of all of what's going on and laying down all the news that's happening. So I think her video is really, really good. If you are like, you keep finding all these news sources and you keep trying to figure out like what's going on, laying out the timeline and trying to figure out a timeline for everything. She has a great video on that. Let me find it real quick. Called We Are Exhausted. So yeah, and so I just wanted to, so basically if you don't know, there's been a stream of racial attacks lately regarding Black men and women. One of the big ones right now, well, the first big one during this pandemic was Ahmaud Arbery, with the fact that he was shot down by two, like a father and son duo, just jogging. And that kind of felt like, especially like at least in 2020 right now, as of May 2020, that kind of incited the going back into looking, like seeing all these racial incidents that have been happening with Ahmaud Arbery, then I think Breonna Taylor, and then now we have George Floyd, who a video has come out that a white officer in Minnesota was basically standing on his neck for 9 minutes and then proceeded to die a couple hours later. And that's basically incited these riots of people asking for social justice, which is nothing new in America. We have been doing this for years. But of course, it feels like people want to say, why don't you do like calm protests? I think we've come to a point in this racial injustice that doing things quietly just does not work anymore.
Yeah.
Doing calm protests has not instigated any change, especially in this administration. If you want to do something, you have to do it loud. I know I have some information. I only have information about all the other three, but I just recently heard about the Breonna Taylor one, so I think Miki has more information about that.
So for Breonna Taylor, I believe she was only 26 years old. She was an award-winning T. Officers barged into her house while they were trying to hunt down someone who was a perceived suspect, and they proceeded to shoot off over 20 rounds into the house, shot and killed her. Her boyfriend, which I believe he has a license to carry, he also shot back. He also shot back in retaliation because this happened in the middle of the night. So they came in and raided their house in the middle of the night, shooting off bullets, 8 of which killed Breonna Taylor. And her boyfriend was charged with shooting at officers. However, the thing was this: they raided the wrong house. The location that they were supposed to be at was 10 miles away, and the suspect at the time had already been in custody.
Right, and so that's what's instigating, and that's what's starting riots for that. And when I heard about that, information about that, I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" So, like, you already knew the person was in custody, probably already knew, and then you still go into an unarmed Black woman's house, shoot her up, and then eventually I heard that she was, I think she was like dropped from a balcony. This is maybe false information, but was she dropped from a balcony and then they proceeded
another Black woman who was dropped from a balcony during the protest, and there's still very little media coverage over it.
And that's the problem that I'm having. We're having all these instances. There's there's too many to keep track of, and it's just like I don't want to keep track of all of this. It's insane how like we have to literally like continue like going down the line of these men and women that's of these violent attacks on African American Black individuals. It's like you have to keep you have to keep track of them. Why do we have to keep track of them? This is ridiculous.
There's also another death that very recently happened. Tony McDade, a Black trans man who was killed by police in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just heard about that one too.
Now says police said McDade had apparently fatally stabbed another man and pointed a gun at the officer. Activists are calling his death an example of police violence.
Yes, and people are asking, and it's like this is, if it's not already prevalent that we're tired of what's going on. It's like I'm literally getting exhausted. This is why I'm exhausted. I'm like, this is something that we like. It's still happening. I'm just like, I really don't know what to say. But I want us to have a discussion about this. I really feel like this is important. We have a platform now. I think this is something that we should discuss and have a discussion. Well, not just discussion, but hopefully activate people to do something about it. I mean, at the end of this, we will give links to where you can support these people, but not only just talk about it, but also where you can support these people and these protests if you feel like you cannot do that because we're at the same time we're in a pandemic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like this is a good opportunity for us to be able to, with us being women of color, we need to make our own voices known. Do not want to see our brothers, our sisters still killed due to brutality and negligence, because that is all that it goes down to.
right. And it's just like it's becoming, even if you're already in your home because of the pandemic, it's now you have more issues to worry about than just the pandemic going out of your home. You have to worry about, is someone going to look at you funny because of the color of your skin? Are they going to act violently towards you because of the color of your skin? It's the tale as old as time, but like, of course, no one wants to listen. No one wants to enact, justice, because it's like people want to think that it's not their problem, even though this has been happening for years. And it's like it's almost an issue where it's like you're kind of part of the problem if you think there is not a problem, And now, and there's people. I know there's one Instagram online right now where like they posted a picture of like, what does white supremacy look like, and it's really like even like the line of what there's open white supremacy to more covert white supremacy. I mean, at least like the covertness outweighs the overt 90-10 in that pyramid. If you haven't seen it, we can link it down below, but like it's just insanity. But yeah, this all just pisses me off on a whole nother level. I mean, yeah, I think people are, I'm happy that they already got the Minnesota policeman for the murder of George Floyd, but it's still, I think they're like murder and manslaughter and not
it was murder 3 and manslaughter. Murder 3 counts of the death by accident, which is not what.
There we go. Right, exactly.
Murder 1 is premeditated. Murder 2, I think.
You mean third-degree murder?
Yeah, only third-degree murder and manslaughter. Third-degree murder, murder in the third degree is essentially saying that he was killed on accident, which is not what this was.
Right. Like, I mean, that's how I saw somebody's post about that. It's like, just third-degree murder? Are you kidding me? This is obviously not an accident. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing when he put his knee on his neck, trying to strangle him, and George Floyd saying he cannot breathe. He knew exactly what he was doing. And then I just heard...
For 10 minutes. And then bystanders watched this, and his fellow police officers, I'm sorry, I need to go ahead and say this, his fellow police officers still also need to be charged as well for being unable to call out their fellow police officer because he is using excessive force. This man is on the ground. He is handcuffed. He is not able to cause any problems. He is saying that he cannot breathe. You strangled him for 10 minutes. And officers also need to be charged because that's accessory to murder because they let it happen.
Also, because he had this police officer thought to put his knee on this man's neck because of, get this, folks, fraud. This man committed fraud and forgery.
That is the least aggressive charge. One of them, at least.
Yeah, and you want to know something else? Apparently, this man who put his knee on this knee on this guy's neck, apparently he had 18 offenses on his name, and no one thought to call his ass out or suspend him or do anything. He had 18 offenses. This guy had history, and
three of which did result also being murdered as well.
Okay, this makes me angry. This makes me pissed off.
I feel like this is also a very sensitive topic as well for Darian, because she does have officers that are in her family.
Right.
I have law enforcement in my family. My dad's a literal cop. And I guarantee he's probably steaming in his room wondering why the hell has he not been suspended yet?
Yeah. You want to know why? The answer is clear as the color of his skin. No,
it's clear as fucking day.
It's clear as fucking day. And like apparently, I heard that he moved to Florida during all of this, and like apparently the police department helped him move. It's like it's obvious what's happening here. It's the color of his skin. Like I was telling David about this because we were talking about it. I was like, this like if this was a black police officer, he would have not. I could tell you 100% he would have not gotten to 18 offenses. Probably like maybe 2 or 3, and he would have been suspended or out. This would not have had happened if he was a black police officer.
This kind of thing upsets me because I'm in a very complicated position where I know police officers. I have met them. They seem all around chill, and they're just. It's a weird. It's a weird pickle, for lack of a better word, because there are a crap ton of bad cops. And my mother has stated this, my father has stated this, I'm pretty sure my stepdad knows this too. All of them know this. And I guarantee you, they wouldn't have gotten past 2 offenses.
Right.
All because they're black. And it makes me upset. My mom even just told me today. Not today, I think it was like a couple of days ago when an African-American man got the police called on him for telling a white woman to put a leash on her dog.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about too.
Yeah, but he didn't get charged because he had video of that and her saying, I'm going to tell them a black man is threatening me. You're on video.
You're on video. And also
like choking her dog out.
Yeah, that's another thing. She was like literally choking her dog out just so she can call the cops and tell her that a black man was bothering her. I'm like, you are now looking like the bad person, not only because you are doing this racist thing, but also you are choking a dog out. Which let's be honest here, dogs get more attention than racism. I'm hot take, but that's how I feel.
Exactly. It's just like, and the one thing, they were walking to Central Park, you're supposed to have your dog leash anyway. I don't care if Fido was cute as heck.
It's a literal law. You have to have dogs leashed in certain parks, and if you don't, that is a hefty fine.
Oh, exactly. you know rules to white women are oppression. Like
exactly, like little Fido, I don't care how cute little Fluffy is, he needs to be on a leash. Because I got fluffy dogs too, and they will murder the crap out of your ankles. That's why you put them on leashes. And I was talking to my mom about this, and she said, and I like halfway quote this, that she did that on purpose, calling the police and specifying that he was an African-American man. Because in this day and age, calling the police on a black man, black woman, anybody of color is literally a death sentence. Especially terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is terrifying. Like I was walking through this Target the other day, and I was still scared, like legitimately scared, because of all these scenarios popping up in my head. I'm worried about my nephew, who's going to grow up in a world that's probably going to hate him. Like he's half black, half Dominican. He's the cutest little bundle of sunshine, and he's growing up in a world that could possibly kill him just because of the color of his skin. This is the thing that makes me angry.
Right.
Like I got brothers, and I'm concerned about them. And they ain't tiny. Sorry, ran off on a rant there.
No, please rant, because this is what this is for.
Something that I also want to say, because I've been seeing this a lot online, and just having unfortunately experienced a lighter instance of it myself. Like, there is going to always be racism, and I feel like it's also being amplified by the fact that we're going through a pandemic. Because let me just say this right now. A week ago, there were riots happening in the capital of the state that we are at. It's happening because people wanted to get haircuts and get their nails done, and they were armed.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And then
And this week, when people are doing the exact same thing, but this was also the thing. Protests were supposedly peaceful, but the difference is this: protesting for police brutality this week, there are no guns.
And yet they're using tear gas and tear gas and like
water cannons
and on them, but nobody did that shit when people were protesting about opening a store or opening a salon or opening, stuff that's not open right now. It's
something that can legitimately kill you, a virus that can just killing everybody, and you don't try and address the fact that somebody's opening their salon before the quarantine is even over.
Or another thing is this: why are you more okay with Caucasian people holding guns trying to get you to reopen the state? You're not okay with people of color who are very peacefully in a public space protesting. They do not want to die by the hands of those who are sworn to protect and serve. Why are the same tactics that were being used during the 1960 civil rights movement? Why is this happening?
Two words: white supremacy.
There is just there's something to be said to the fact that we're protesting because we just don't want to die. There is something to be said about that.
Period. And then another thing is basically what I said. I'm not going to take that back. You can.
No, I'm just basically reiterating what you said.
Yeah.
We just don't want to die.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy lately. The only difference between racism, because the racist acts currently and what's been happening for the last 401 years is the fact that we now have cameras.
And the thing with that, and you would think that would make things better, but like, there's also the fact that like, there's no really like any force taken to like, let's say a white cop or there's a police officer who does use excessive force and doesn't
body cams as well. Interrupt, but don't police officers also have to wear body cams as well? So shouldn't that
depending where you are, I don't know if all states have they legislated it that they have to wear a body cam.
I'm not sure if
to. Because what's his face? Like the police officer Derek Chauvin.
Yeah.
Apparently they're gonna check like the body cam footage, but like who knows if they're gonna actually like release that footage to the public or just like put it against like this wall where like only the Minneapolis like police force is like able to see that, like we can't show this to the public, which is the only way that is going to be shown to the public is if it goes to trial, but other than that, it's either going to be in an edited format or it's never going to be shown.
I'm saying like hell no, they're not gonna release that footage. They'll think it'll only make things worse by showing the actual body cam footage.
Worse than a man who's being choked out by someone's 200-pound neck who's got their knee on their necks, literally saying "I can't breathe" and calling out for their deceased mother. Like, that's definitely worse.
Oh my, and absolutely, right? Oh, definitely, absolutely.
And this isn't like the first instance either of like another like black man being killed, saying and like uttering those words like "I can't breathe." Like,
wasn't it? I forgot which one, but was it like? I may be wrong.
And that's the other issue. Like, there's so many people that this is happening to that we've lost count. That like we're already like forgetting their names, which shouldn't be happening. There's
a list.
This also isn't just, and this is another thing that I want to go ahead and say out too. This is not just happening in the United States. There have been a lot of police brutality crimes that have also happened in the UK. This is not just a nation, a national, a global thing. And
right. This is like
to put racism, different people struggles and racism against each other. We're not here to go for tit for tat. We're not trying to say who has through something that is worse. Everyone needs to know that it's wrong.
This is not oppression Olympics, okay, folks? This is literally people dying because of basically stupid shit, okay?
Preach it, exactly.
That's literally what it is.
I find it funny
what it
about all of
is.
that too, because they want everything that we have, but they don't want us. So they want our skin, they want our hair, they want our bodies, but they do not want us.
Exactly. And that's another thing, like, and that's the funny thing too, like, Amanda was talking about on her thing that, like, brands are they have shut up during this time of, like, all this racial tension. Like, we haven't heard a single thing, but on normal regulated schedule, they're always trying to get the Black audience, the Black women audience, you know, like, talking about on fleek, or look at that fire emoji, blah, 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 and, like, or, like, trying to basically market to Black people, but during this time, haven't heard a single thing. Haven't heard one thing about the racial tensions or stuff like that. They have shut the hell up. It's
the only thing that I've seen so far is, I want you guys to know, Nick Cannon.
Oh dear.
Protest. No. I'm saying this because it's something to actually be good for, but something to actually be good. But also know this. The people for these protests, they're not social distancing, but he came out and this man has lupus.
Wow.
Cannon has lupus and he is out there risking his own health to protest against social injustice.
Right.
And he's able to do it. Other people with much larger platforms not either said anything, or they've just been completely silent, or I've been seeing some pages that don't want to talk about political stuff. They just want to talk about anime. They just want to talk about pop culture. They don't want to ruin their aesthetic. No.
And that's what I was getting. And that's what I was getting. When we were talking about, I was like, we can either have our platform be just about pop culture, or we can have our platform discussing these things and try to be a part of the conversation and discussion. And that's what, and because that's how I was concerned. I was like, is this gonna, I mean, full disclosure, I was concerned that, like, if we talk about it, will that change our platform? But I think it's because that we are women of color. I think this is important to our discussion as Black creators and Black women of color creatives in America, because this is what we go through every single day. Like, you know, whether you are Black, whether you are Latinx, whether you are Asian American, this is stuff that's happening to us constantly, all the time, whether you want to, like, ignore it or not. It's something that happens to us every day, whether it's covert or overt. You know what I mean?
And this is the thing that I want a whole lot of people to realize. You can talk about pop culture and have your aesthetic and actually talk about justice. You know they're not mutually exclusive, right? You can do both. It's a good thing that you do both. You can do both.
But not be a douche about it, because, like, you don't be like James Charles and be like, oh, Black Lives Matter, and then immediately go talk about his butt, and I'm like, oh no,
just be respectful when you do it.
Yeah. That's the thing that. That's something that actually happened. Like, James Charles literally tweeted out Black Lives Matter, and then then literally, like, not even maybe a minute or two later, he was talking about his butt, and it's like, that's not. Shut up, please, please.
It reminds me of, like, what one of the Kardashian, like, sisters did. Like, she posted about, like, Black Lives Matter, and then, like, the next, like, Snapchat story. No, not Snapchat story. Insta story, like, little segment was, like, her talking about, like, this little plastic baggie, or, like, something about her nails or something. It was so dumb.
Like, that's not how that. It's like, y'all can wait to talk about whatever sponsorships or others you want to talk about. Like,
you can't wait a day. Like, you can't wait a day.
A moment of silence.
A moment of silence for, like, the people that are, like, actually risking their lives to make sure that these things are being talked about. You know, or not talked about, but, like, you know, protesting out there, you know, because, you know, it's happening. It's just about happening across America and everything. You know, it's not one thing to, like, ignore the elephant in the room, but just completely ignore the entire elephant. Like, come on. Come on. Read the room. It's just,
as I'm concerned.
I saw on, I think, Deanna, did you send something out about, like, they're doing a protest here in, like, the Greensboro area?
Yes. Oh, speaking of that, there's actually a protest happening today in, like, Raleigh and Fayetteville, I think.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
And somebody already broke into the North Lake Mall at a protest.
Oh.
Yeah, my little sister told me, and I'm not sure whether that's valid or not. But she told me that apparently they did break in. Then she wasn't sure whether it was due to protesting or due to the fact they just wanted to loot and take advantage of the situation.
Right. And then like there's this one, have you seen about the guy who was in like black and stuff and he was just vandalizing stuff
Oh,
in
God.
Minnesota?
That was during a peaceful protest. That was said to apparently be an undercover cop. I don't remember his name, so I'm not going to try and just
Yeah, he was outed.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He was outed by his ex-wife. He's an undercover
Oh
cop.
my god.
And he was vandalizing just so he can blame it on protesters who were rallying peacefully. It's like,
And they even told him when he started breaking windows, don't do that. And then he walked away. Even said, what are you doing? Don't do that.
That's just
and
whack.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, no. No.
The fact that he was also ratted out by his ex-wife, I said, that's no fury.
That's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
It's like she knew that it was him, even with his everything but his eyes covered. It was kind of that's amazing to me.
I don't know why I find that so funny.
It's great. It's absolutely like that's just the comeuppance you need in this time. It's like, yeah, he got outed. Like, there's no. I'm not gonna sit here and like. I just really wanted to talk about. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say what do we need to do about it. I don't know. I honestly don't know what you can do about it. We've had like years to think of like ways to tell people like what's happening, and it's like I really don't. Centuries. I really can't tell you what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna honestly, we're just riding the ropes of history right now, and like if something good will come out of it, who knows? If something bad will come out of it, I don't know. I just hope the carrot that's in office just gets out at this point.
Carrot? What happened to Cheeto?
Oh, you're right.
Go ahead and say it like this. It is not full of color. Not our responsibility to educate other people of color or non-people of color. Racism is not our job. And relating back to the video that Shayla first said, we are exhausted. Yes, we are. Because we shouldn't keep having to repeat ourselves. There are people out there that are literally saying but I can't breathe. Where's the but?
It's like, well, I know some, and like not to exalt everybody from the celebrities from doing this, but there are some celebrities out there that are trying to make a difference. Like, Beyonce just released an Instagram saying if you want to support the George Floyd Memorial Fund, please do that. I know there's other hits. There's other actors, actresses, celebrities trying to ask people to donate, which is like, if there's anything to take away from this conversation, if you feel like you need to do something, but there is no way that you can go out and protest because of the health of your safety, donate money. I donated money to the George Floyd Memorial Fund. That's what I did. Miki will provide links to other places that you can support. There's like a huge master list of places you can support, lists you can donate to, and so
there is a very large master list. I'll go ahead and say the link. I'll go ahead and say the link out loud right now, but I will be putting a link in the description for this podcast. If you want to be able to see the large master list, and this is going to be to if you want to look up where the Twitter petitions are, then you can just go on Twitter. But this is where the official petitions are for everything that has been going on recently, as well as funds so you can donate to George Floyd's memorial service, as well as donating for the rioters and cleaning up the cities after everything has been happened. It's called blacklivesmatter.carrd.co. That's blacklivesmatter.carrd.co.
Yeah, and we'll like Miki said, we'll put it in the description as well. But thank you, Miki. I see it. But yes, so it's just some like. I think that's if you're telling yourself, wow, like if you already have been told about this information, if you already feel like you need to do something, you need to act, but you need to act, or if you want to just do something on top of protesting, go donate money, donate to these causes, sign petitions. There we go. I was trying to think of something else to do. Sign petitions, do that.
And if you're not able to donate money, share. Other people will be able to share, voice your opinion, say that this isn't okay. And best of all, if you see one causing injustice, or you see something that is showing forms of racism, call people out on it. That's the most important thing you can do. We're not going to be able to change this all by ourselves. Everybody needs to be able to make a change towards this.
Don't be a bystander.
Yeah, don't be a bystander. Exactly. And also, more long-term thing, in November, vote for someone that is not the Cheeto.
Vote for someone with common sense, please. Vote
for someone that doesn't advocate for white supremacy on a daily basis. Whether you are someone who thinks that they don't, which is he's been in here for 4 years, and if you haven't seen it already, fuck you. But okay, let's in long term in November, let's not vote for don't vote for someone who repeatedly advocates for white supremacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah,
don't forget about local governments either.
Exactly. Vote for local office, please. Please do not think your voice does not matter. Please vote. Please vote.
Yes.
Whether we'll be still inside our houses in November or not, that's probably the most civic that's like this. If you want not immediate, but like I don't want to say immediate, but like if you want change from the government aspect, and that's the best way that you can do it. But if you want to do something now, May 2020, do your part. Do what you can what you think you can do. If you feel like you want to compromise your health, or you feel like you want to go out and protest, just be safe, be careful, wear a mask, watch for your health.
Know the law.
Know the law.
Know the law.
But just be careful out there, and everything. But that's best. That's probably the best thing I can say. I'm not going to sit here and educate you about what's going on, but we can't tell you if all these things that we've said in this podcast have I don't want to say triggered you, but if you feel like you need to do something, if you feel like this is a call to action for you, then please help. Then help in a way that you think you see fit, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. There is a ton of us with all different kinds of opinions. We can do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of taking that extra step and being brave enough to do it. But sometimes it could be just that fear holding you back, or just that thought of just not being able to do it. When in reality, you have the biggest voice to make a change. That's all I got to say on the matter.
Well put. Very well put.
Well put. I couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, I think that's a good ending place for today. Yes, that bit of hope that Darian just gave us, I like that.
I try.
Put a bit of hope in this instead of, everything.
Hey, we always got to leave on a positive note.
Leave on a...
We're just... What?
Darian for Hope 2K20.
Stop.
Put her on the ballot, damn it.
You know what? I'm going back underneath my bed. Y'all, I'm done.
Oh no. You still gotta sign out.
Okay, fine.
Thank you so much for joining us today for Kira Discusses, our second episode. My name is Shayla.
Mine is Deanna.
Mine is Darian.
And my name is Miki.
Hope to see you guys next week for our next discussion. We have a little surprise for y'all, so I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Kira Kira Studios, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Kira Kira Studios. And don't forget to like and share our podcast wherever our podcast is found. Thanks, and see you next time.